The first step, I think, is just to be kind to yourself. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present. No.
Welcome to the recorded room. Let's talk about when structure feels like control. Some relationships do not fall apart because love disappeared. Sometimes they fall apart because structure was mistaken for control. Accountability started sounding like judgment. Correction started feeling like disrespect. And order started looking like oppression to someone who was used to surviving without it. But here is the truth. A healthy relationship cannot grow if every boundary feels like an attack. It cannot grow if every hard conversation turns into a fight. It cannot grow if one person says they want better, but resents the structure required to become better. Because everybody says they want peace, but not everybody wants the discipline that peace requires. Everybody says they want stability, but not everybody wants the habits that stability asks for. Everybody says they want a healthy relationship, but sometimes people only want a relationship that lets them stay the same without being challenged. And that is where love gets tested. Because love is not just affection. Love is also order. Love is also responsibility. Love is also being able to hear truth without turning the person telling you the truth into the enemy. And this applies to both people. A man cannot call himself a leader if he is using leadership to control. And a woman cannot call herself ready for partnership if every form of accountability feels like losing herself. Because leadership without love becomes domination, and partnership without accountability becomes chaos with a title. The real issue is not submission. The real issue is trust. Can I trust your leadership? Can I trust your correction? Can I trust your heart when you are telling me something uncomfortable? Can you trust that structure is not always trying to shrink you? Can you trust that accountability is not always an attack? Can you trust that correction is not always criticism? Can you trust that love sometimes has to interrupt the pattern before the pattern destroys the relationship? Sometimes the person trying to help you build is not your enemy. Sometimes they are just the first person who loved you enough to stop agreeing with your chaos. And that is where many relationships break. Not because there was no love, but because someone wanted comfort more than accountability. Because comfort will tell you they are judging you. Accountability will ask, are they lying? Comfort will tell you, you should not have to change. Growth will ask, then why do you keep saying you want better? Comfort protects the version of you that is familiar. Accountability introduces you to the version of you that is required. And sometimes that feels uncomfortable because the person is not trying to punish you. They are trying to help you come out of survival mode. But when survival has been your identity for too long, peace can feel suspicious. Order can feel controlling. Structure can feel like pressure. And love can feel unsafe when it no longer agrees with your dysfunction. So before you call it control, ask yourself, is this person trying to dominate me? Or are they trying to help me become who I said I wanted to be? Are they trying to silence me? Or are they asking me to communicate better? Are they trying to make me small? Or are they challenging the version of me that keeps creating the same damage? Are they controlling my life? Or are they refusing to build a future with my chaos? Because there is a difference. Control says, be who I want you to be. Love says, do not keep becoming what is hurting you. Control takes your voice. Love asks you to be honest with it. Control makes you afraid to grow. Love gives you structure so growth has somewhere to live. And the hard truth is this: some people do not reject love. They reject the responsibility that comes with being loved correctly. Because being loved correctly means you cannot keep hiding behind excuses. You cannot keep turning every conversation into defense. You cannot keep asking for commitment while resisting correction. You cannot keep saying you want a future while fighting the structure needed to build one. So before you decide that someone is controlling you, ask yourself one more question. Do I feel controlled because they are taking my freedom? Or do I feel controlled because they are confronting my patterns? Because those are not the same thing. And if the relationship is healthy, accountability should not feel like a prison. It should feel like a mirror. Not a mirror used to shame you, but a mirror placed in front of you with love, asking, is this really who you want to keep being? Thank you for having a seat with me for real.